chat if you could hear me. I'm gonna have a interesting show today. Very interesting. I'm trying to do my greetings in the chat right now. Get it all taken care of, but I'm keeping the bid. I'm gonna where this Cuban leaves me. It's getting mission critical interview. When I get the links, I'll share it with you guys. But a lot of things happened this month where I've been in this holding pattern, waiting for this explosion. This thing is about to explode. This ministry is about to get big, supernatural, international. It's going big. I'm working on a project right now where I'm going on a campaign to help people get rid of student loans the way I have taught it. I did it in the private. Now I'm going mainstream with it. Did my show. I got a text. How are you doing? Oh no, the text started off with a scripture. Let's read it. I'm gonna read the scripture. It said, Isaiah 43:1-2. Do not be afraid, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by your name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers, it will not overflow. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned, and the flame will not scorch you. Whenever I see people sending me scriptures, I immediately say to myself, what do they want? What do they want? Oh, Kim, you're so suspicious, but I do this every day. And like I said in my show yesterday, when you have something to offer people, all they want to do is come and take. They never want to really give you anything. A lot of people are like that. They want to hear what you have to say, get the information, extract your resources, which is your intellect, use it for their own purposes, and then you won't hear from them again for a long time until they have a problem. And this is exactly what went down here. Started with some small talk. Then let me get down. Oh, are you doing your show? Like your blog talk? I know I haven't done blog talk in over a year, right? I haven't uploaded anything to blog talk in a long time. I'm gonna get back. I still have the blog talk platform. I just haven't, because I'm just a one-man show. I'm gonna hire me a virtual assistant to get that stuff uploaded up there on Blog Talk. Got to keep that going. That's where it all started. But are you doing your Blog Talk show? That shows you how long they even listen to me. And I said already done. I didn't say I don't do blog. I didn't go through all of that stuff, right? Oh, boo-hoo. Okay. Are you talked out? So that means they want to contact me and get some information. And I said yes. But then went on some rant about, let's just skip down to the part. They put, I was unlawfully detained 2 days ago. LOL. I get curious, for what? Nonsense. I rear-ended a woman. That's not nonsense. You hit somebody. You damaged property. You definitely have a victim here in this situation. And I said, well, why would they detain you? I already knew what was going on. They didn't have the proper credentials to even drive that car, and they got arrested. That prediction, it wasn't. It don't take a psychic, a prophet to even know what was going down here. Not bad at all. The officer tried to say it was resisting arrest without violence, when in actually I asked him 2 times if I was under arrest. See that BS? They're watching videos and they're following nonsense. That's sovereign citizen nonsense. And he said, no, I was trying to keep my business between the woman who I rear-ended and myself. So she was trying to keep their business between themselves because they didn't have insurance. So they were trying to hide it. What's the charges? Resisting arrest without violence, no license, no tag, no insurance. He did not ask me for ID. He actually knocked it out of my hands along with my phones. I actually doing something I think is pretty cool. And this is where the extraction of my knowledge is. They're trying to mine my mind right now. Um, I'm actually what was it? I'm actually doing something I think is pretty cool, and I would love for you to oversee it. I already knew I wasn't overseeing jack doo doo. I know I'm a minister. I do curse. I wasn't overseeing jack shit. Okay, I already had made that up in my mind. Between the trademark and sending the presentments that were sent to the mailbox back with a third party affidavit. See the nonsense? None of these techniques have any basis in any law or fact that you can even use effectively here. So I said, I'm sorry, I don't support those teachings. It has never worked in the past. Let me know how it goes. I'm just politely. Then they're going to tell me about the accomplishments of some guy. Remember, I tell you, whenever these little processes come, they already know some guy who did something and had some success. There never any real factual stuff. It said this guy has gotten 3 people out of jail and 8 people out of jail when he was in jail. Oh, he got people out of jail while he was in jail. Why the hell he didn't get himself out of jail, didn't get somebody out of jail? See what I'm saying? Nonsense. But that's all right. I accept your position. Then I said, they all say that. And then others have reviewed it and say, that is brilliant. Then I said, okay, then the incident to the discharge. So what they're saying, if you discharge a debt, it doesn't necessarily go away. That debt is still can be collected on. They can pass it on. They can assign it to someone else. So you don't want to do discharge. It's basically what this is saying. You want to be able to extinguish the debt completely, where they're not coming back to you for it. And the only way to do it is to organize your estate properly, and we're going to show you the steps of what you need to do. All right. The fact that it carries something which may be a consideration for a new promise to pay, so as to make an otherwise worthless promise a legal obligation, makes it the subject of transfer by assignment. This is why when people are trying to discharge, they'll ignore you and still collect. And I could tell you this has been my experience. Now, this. So now is what are you gonna do? You heard what I had to say? And most of all, let's keep it real. I'm only repeating what you've already said to yourself. That's why you're here. That's why you tune in every week. Yeah, I'm only repeating what you already said to yourself. I'm not saying anything new. I might be saying it in a different way. I might be saying it in a different tone. I might be saying it with some force differently. But for the most part, your spiritual self has been knocking you over the head, telling you, hey, what you doing? Hey, 3:00 in the morning, get up, write that thing, that inspirational thought you had. Write it down. Or go act on it. And what do? You look at that clock, turn over, I'll get it later and go to sleep. Akiem, how you know? How you know you in my bedroom? You can see us? You spying on us? No. I ain't got to spy on you. I ain't got to know. I know how we are. I know what we really are, and we all operate the same way. We come from the same designer. We come from the same designer who designed us to be spiritual and powerful and divine. And the way we get our inspiration is when everybody's calmed down and all the negative energy is subsided. That's when, in the wee hours of the night, is when God can really speak to you and get you in that corner and start to talk to you. That's what happens. How you know I can't? Because it happens to me all the time. And a lot of times I listen, and then sometimes I don't. And I always regret when I don't. All right. What's up? I was trying to play that video, um, from where the guy got pulled over in Florida, and he was showing his Moorish ID. But for some reason, y'all couldn't hear the sound, so I was trying to download it from YouTube because I have it. It's on my channel, but I'm trying to. I need to get the original. That's the problem. I need to get the. I couldn't find the original file. That's put it in my Google Drive. You know what? Let me see if I can get it out my Google Drive. Because I want y'all to see this video before I show y'all how to authenticate your passport. By the way, peace, everybody. How y'all doing? Y'all doing good? Since they updated this thing again, every time I share the screen, the sound doesn't play. So I don't understand what's going on with that. Okay, here is the video. I'm going to download it. And then I'm going to play it. It's kind of crazy. That's why I don't, you know, tell people get those IDs or use them in traffic stops, because you're gonna get automatically pegged as a sovereign citizen, and from there it's all downhill. Period. So, all right, let me see if this downloaded just yet. I think it did. All right. It looks like that's it. All right, so I'm gonna share this. Choose video. I'm not sure if this is what I just downloaded. All right, let's go to my desktop. I say they don't peace, love, prosperity. Say they don't like them. I got one years ago, still got got it, 2 tags and all straight track. Okay. Yeah. Sorry you had to go through all that. Um Let me make sure I'm downloading this thing correctly. All right. There it is. Florida stop. Oh, it's in documents. Okay. All right. Let's go to documents. There it is. All right, here we go. Peace, Hindsight Radio family. This is Akiem with Hindsight Radio. I am here critiquing this video, and this is mostly to show people that they need to stop following certain groups of people, because it will get you killed. And tragically, in this circumstance, it did get someone killed unnecessarily. A simple traffic stop, a simple situation turned violent unnecessarily. Well, let's watch the video so you can see why I don't teach you guys. Don't, buy these sovereign citizen plates, these Morris Science Temple IDs. And it seems good, it seems like it's something because you want to be different. You want to consider yourself indigenous. That's all well and good. You want to claim your nationality. But the Morris Science Temple been pumping these IDs out for years, and all it has gotten people was in trouble over the years. I haven't seen anything positive come out of these situations. And let's watch. Let's watch.
The Hunt Fountain Park on Duff Road in North Lakeland. Deputy
This is in Florida.
The area because we had some burglaries in the area. Gangbangers, kids, teenagers flipped door handles, looking for cash, credit cards, and guns. And there had been some of those in the area. We also had a burglary of the concession stand at the park recently. So Deputy Conover was doing what she should when she saw a white Mercedes Benz in the parking lot. She checked on the person there.
So they were there because there was a lot of robberies going on. And they saw a car. They wanted to check it out to verify if this person or this car was part of this crime spree. It's a Mercedes Benz. I don't know what year it is. You could make the argument there was just profiling. You can. But how this turned out based on what they're reporting, it shouldn't have to turn out that way. If you were following my method, you wouldn't have that problem. But this you'll see.
And the person just barely rolled the window down, talking to her when she asked.
This is one of the techniques of being taught. Crack your window, speak out of there. First of all, to me, I think that's disrespectful to do that. I see a video where a guy say, "I don't answer questions," and, but he does show his ID. He does give them the information, and he remains silent. I'm okay with that, But this Morris Science Temple technique is don't say anything, fight, just be belligerent, and it's just to me it's unnecessary.
Would you show me your driver's license? Tell me who you are. He wouldn't respond. He wouldn't get out of the car. He wouldn't cooperate.
So
she noticed that.
let me stop. So he wasn't committing a crime. Now, I will be clear. He wasn't committing a crime at this point to be where he was. So I kind of like this sheriff is kind of justifying just pulling people over and asking questions. And, the Constitution protects that right. You have a right to privacy. You really don't have to answer questions. But at the same time, you don't have to get belligerent about everything. You see, there's a way to handle these things.
He was dressed all in white as if he were in some kind of religious or cult garb. He certainly wasn't in normal street clothes. So she called for backup, and that's when Deputy Craig Smith, Lieutenant Anderson, who were both shot, as well as Deputy Bolito and his trainee. And we also had Natalie Ostrich, who is K9, back them up. So now there's a total with the trainees of 7 deputies there. So Craig Smith, Chad Anderson go to the door and say, "Hey, look, man." They tried to talk to him. You've got to identify yourself. You've got to come out and talk to us. And he wouldn't. And his car started rolling. They grabbed the window, and all of a sudden, he started shooting. We know now that he shot 5 times. We saw 5 empty casings. He struck Lieutenant Chad Anderson in the left arm. It went through the arm and into his chest cavity. The projectile lodged between his heart and his spinal column. He was fractions of an inch from either being paralyzed from the chest down or killed if it had gone into his heart or struck any of those major arteries in that area. He went down, but he got 2 shots off before he went down. Craig Smith, Deputy Smith, was not able to shoot because he was shot, and as I reported, there were 4 gunshot wounds in him. After clearly evaluating him and the medical procedures, he was shot twice. So what we were looking at was in and out holes. So he was shot twice in his right arm and he went down. Deputy Bolito and our canine deputy Ostrich returned shots. There was a gunfight. There were 38 shots fired. We hit the suspect 8 times, and he was immediately deceased. So now we rush everyone to the hospital. Lieutenant Chad Anderson has had 2 surgeries. A minute about the suspect. And I want to show you what we found in his car. First, the firearm that he used to shoot my deputies and to shoot at the other deputies. It's a Springfield Arms XD 9mm. And in addition to being a loaded firearm, had alone. And I want to show you what we found in his car. First, the firearm that he used to shoot my deputies and to shoot at the other deputies. It's a Springfield Arms XD 9mm. And in addition to being a loaded firearm,
guns. My mic was muted then. He did have the right to have these firearms, so he didn't have a felony, so he had a right to have these guns. And the sheriff will clear that up later on in this interview, but he didn't have a right to shoot at the deputies. So let's keep going.
Door petition to his left. So he could have had a small gun battle with what he had alone. In the back seat, he had this is a Ruger 1022 converted to an AR-15. In a backpack, he had a fully loaded 40mm firearm handgun. So let me introduce you to our suspect that tried to murder my deputies, did his best. This is K-Mac Elbay. He's 26. That's the name.
There you go, Elbay. And see, anybody presenting these IDs is going to be treated with extreme prejudice. You know, so just letting you know.
That he has taken on, because you see, he identifies as Moorish. He uses a number 13, lion-hearted on his Florida driver's license. Beside his signature, he has written ARR.
So he says he has a driver's license.
Reserved. He's currently homeless. He was evicted from a place in Hillsborough County.
He's homeless.
He has been moving around in Pinellas County. He was asked.
Let me stop and talk about this homeless thing. This usually is what happens to people who go down these paths, this deep rabbit hole. They end up homeless. Like, I've known someone for 5 years. They're fighting foreclosures. And at the time I met them, they owned 11 properties. All of them in foreclosure. Why? Because they was trying those discharge techniques that don't work. And as much as I tried to encourage them to go talk to my partner Gilbert, who handles foreclosures and get people back into their mortgages through modifications, they wouldn't listen. They wouldn't follow. Now they're homeless. And it's actually, it was funny. That person I'm talking about lives in this was living in Hillsborough County, Florida. And this person I'm speaking of had tried all these same techniques right here too. Been locked up multiple times in their 40s, late 40s. They're doing these things and they're going to jail. Have 2 children. that they, supposed to be an example for doing this nonsense. I don't know what's it going to take for people to stop falling for this stuff. They've been pumping this stuff out for years, getting no results. What happens? The old heads leave and don't want the new heads. Stay away from that stuff. Stay away from these Morris IDs. My first, um, information I got on these IDs, it was a woman. She was using these IDs. The police, this was in South Carolina, threw her and banged her head up against her own hood of her car because she showed that ID. Said it time and time again. You're considered a terrorist. Once you show that, you are a terrorist, a domestic terrorist, extremist. Let's keep going.
To leave a business area apparently last month. We talked to his mother. She said, I don't know this person. She said, I know Kyron Caples, Caples. Kyron Caples is my son. He went to Fresno State after 3 years of college and in studying business. He left. He apparently was radicalized while he was at Fresno State. She said, I raised him as a Christian boy.
You notice how he's saying radicalized. Radicalized.
He was a good man. We found that he didn't have a criminal history.
No criminal history.
Suspended driver's license. So the person that his mother knew and loved, and she'd not seen him in 3 years since he left California. That's where she lives. Until we got that fateful call, she had talked to him and had communicated with him and had on occasion sent him money when he needed help. But she says she doesn't know who this K-Mac Elbay is, but that's who he goes by now. Here's his identification.
There's the IDs.
His Moorish identification card. He's a sovereign citizen. The Moorish rejects federal.
See how they automatically label you a sovereign citizen? As soon as you show those IDs, you're automatically going to be labeled that. When you don't have those plates on your car, you're going to automatically be labeled that. And at that point, things turn bad.
State and local law, they don't have to obey it. They're extremist. They're anti-government. They have a potential for violence toward law enforcement. And
yeah, so they have a potential towards violence, and he just helped that narrative.
I'll harken you back, and those of you who have been reporters around here for a while, remember in 2017, on the I-4 corridor, 3 police officers were shot and killed. A sergeant with the Orlando Police Department, a sergeant with the Kissimmee Police Department, and on that same day, an officer with the Kissimmee Police Department. They were shot by 2 separate Moorish people, all in 2017. And now let's fast forward to 2024, and K-Mac tried to murder 2 of my police officers.
So they're going to be looking at Moorish people like.
In addition to their violent activity, they're known for trying to file paperwork. For example, they have filed an arrest warrant for me.
And this is the nonsense that they preach. File liens, files arrest warrant, and it's just paperwork. You become a paper terrorist. It doesn't do anything. He's got a smirk on his face. Like, they filed this on me, and so what? And people follow. Yeah, you need to file. And I see this in YouTube threads. I see it in Facebook threads. File it lien. Fine. You didn't file your lien. And a lot of these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. They're just talking. You're dealing with people that have no life. So they get on here and this makes them feel like they're a part of something, that they fighting for some great cause. No, you're fighting for a great broke cause. It's trash. Those IDs, trash. I know a lot of the Morris people gonna look at me. Oh, I don't care. I've never seen anything positive come out of that nonsense.
In the Moorish world with a $1 million bond, as well as some of my other deputies. Not this person, but other Moorish.
Now, let's make sense. You file a bond or a lien and you put it in this very system that you claim is against you, and you expect the system that is against you to enforce that lien. How dumb is that? It's stupid. It doesn't make sense. You say you're sovereign from this system and you don't they can't do anything for you, but when you have a problem, when you want to file a lien and put it on the county and do all this nonsense and expect that same system that you say you don't have jurisdiction over you to enforce that. It's insane and stupid. And quite frankly, it's unintelligent. It shows lack of critical thinking. And all of you who are listening who have done these liens and stuff like that, I hope what I said offends you. I hope to the point that you go look in the mirror and say, what the hell am I doing? Stop doing this dumb stuff. It's dumb. If you're going to fight a system, the system has rules. The Matrix told you that clearly. You have to understand how the system is in order for you to make the system work for you. You have to work within the parameters of that system. Not outside. You can't go making your own outside rules. There's rules. You get violated Constitution, you sue them. You file complaints. And you properly move through the channels to get your justice. But these liens and filing on, they do nothing but piss them off and treat you, get you bad treatment, period.
People. We make frequent arrest of these citizens, these Moorish citizens, but we don't.
It's only dealing with the Moorish, but it's not like Moorish is not the only ones that do this stuff. There's a lot of other people teaching stuff, but they don't identify as Moorish. But he's solely dealing with Moorish. And so that's going to put a target on all, and most people who are more into the Moorish are people of color, dark skin, considered black, African American. So y'all in trouble. It's open season now.
Publish them because we don't want to market for them. But let me read something to you for just a second. This is an example. Now, here's his ID card, and this is a sample of a card that he had, so that when they want to hand it to you, he didn't. It would say, and you'll get the mindset, this is a valid and lawful form of identification. See United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, Articles 2 and 33, Section 1. You're being put on notice that any unlawful act against an indigenous Yahundum Moor is a federal crime and you will be fined $750,000 or more. Any violation of my rights, well-being, or property.
That's the stuff that's on the back of those IDs that they laugh at. Means nothing. Means nothing.
Is your express agreement to be held officially and privately liable for $750,000 for each violation of the bearer's rights in each capacity. If detaining the bearer, you also expressly agree to the fee schedule of $90,000 per hour upon any unlawful detainment and violation of the bearer's right. Payment is due immediately in lawful money.
Sound familiar? All right, I'm back. Okay. I think I showed y'all enough. If y'all want to see the full video, it's on my channel. You can see the whole thing. I think it's about 10 minutes left. I don't know. Somebody got there. He's a. Let me just put this comment up here. Your people with Moore's names quick to jump out there. You know this sheriff is a Mason, right? Make sure you end this video with his being a Freemason. His photos out with him. I mean, okay, he's a Freemason. So what? I don't know why that's important to the topic that I'm talking about. Oh, so all right, y'all get the point. It's gonna be open season because this happened recently. Um, Anybody showing those IDs? This guy set a precedence for violence. He shot at the cops, wounded a few of them, a couple of them. So now, anytime they pull out anybody with those IDs, expect to get guns drawn on you. Just expect that because they're not playing now. So I don't know, throwing slander around. I don't think he's being slanderous about this case. Why? Because I see how Moors act when they get those IDs and things like that. I don't know. What's your point? He's a Mason. What does being a Freemason have to do with him throwing around slander? What does that have to do with anything? All right, so I was going to talk to y'all about. I want to get questions. So what I did was I put the you can either type your questions in the chat or you can get on Telegram because Blog Talk is down apparently. I can't log in. It won't let me log in. That's what took me so long. So, you know, still don't understand path of least resistance. People still don't understand path of least resistance, right? They don't. Oh. They don't. Look at this. I'm about to boot this dude. Make sure you end this video of the sheriff in a Masonic lodge. What that got to do is a lot of Masons running around here. I know I got friends that are Masons. So what that have to do with what's your point? You know what? Send him back home. It don't make sense. Me ending, oh yeah, by the way, he's a Mason. And what is the point you're trying to make? Be clear. So I was going to show you guys how to authenticate your 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 passport, but I'm afraid to share the screen because every time I share the screen, the sound you can't hear anything. So I got the thing I wanted to show you. Let's see if this maybe that's what the issue was. I'm gonna share the screen and do a mic check. Y'all should be seeing. You should be seeing. That might be what it was. You should be seeing the passport page where you authenticate. It's very. I mean, it took me 2 seconds to find this, and some people say they can't find it. There it is. There's the link. So if you already got your passport, you did the process of correcting your nationality. Here is the page to go ahead and authenticate it. All right. This is the page. And they have requirements for an apostille, and then there's requirements for authentication certificates. Let's click the authentication certificate requirements. So to authenticate the passport is what I teach you guys to do. Authentication certificates are for documents you use in countries not in the 1961 Hague Convention Treaty. Before submitting documents to us, you must get a notary public to notarize each document using a county notary. Go to the clerk of court. Using a state notary, go to the state. Make sure seals and signatures are originals. Get a certified copy from a notary public. A certified copy is a copy of a primary document and a document with certificate. So that's what they're talking about there. Wait a minute, I'm not authentication certificate requirements. Okay. This is not the act. They changed this up because now you got to complete a form. Before you just had to send a letter. Oh, let's see how old this document is. I don't remember this. I didn't do it exactly like this when I authenticated. Here's my authenticated copy of my passport. If you guys can see that there, I have a couple of copies. All right, let's see something here. This looks a little different. Oh, this is a new form that they created. Let's go back. I know it was called authenticated fees of $20 per document, but I remember them charging $50 per authentication. All right, let's see. They switched this up. It was a lot easier. But here's the authentication page, and there's the requirements to authenticate everything. But they're just talking about documents in general. I'm trying to find the passport authentication. Let me do a Google search real quick. Let's go here. Yeah, they did some new stuff. I haven't taught this in a minute, so I'm a little lost. I thought I was gonna just be uh renew, prepare. Let's see. That page was just generally talking about request nothing can say police certificate, FBI. Yeah, they changed some stuff up here. It used to be a page designated just for the passport authentication. Oh, they're playing games. No wonder people were having a hard time. Let's see. So I guess what they did is just stick everything under one heading. Yeah, so it looks like they stuck everything under one heading. I don't have time to go over this and try to find it, but it used to be $50 for the authenticating of your passport application. Then it was an $8 for a apostille. But they it just got general information here on the authentication. Birth federal issue documents. Other documents. I guess you can authenticate your bylaws. Yeah, there used to be a specific page on how to do your passport, which is not here, or I can't locate it at this time. So y'all could go here and find it. But what I'm gonna do is on my off time, I'm gonna go find it and I'll repost it. Sorry about that, because I can't find it. All right, okay, let's go to this chat. Sorry, I can't take your calls. Um, Somebody said we can hear you now. All right, so let's read what the chat is saying. Let's see what Telegram is saying. There's a few people on, but no hands are up. Oh, there is a. Oh, there you go. There's somebody up there. Let's allow to speak. You have to unmute your mic, Lakin Apple settings. Unmute yourself. I unmuted you. There you go. Yeah, you good. I can hear you. Make sure everybody else can hear. Let me see. Let's see. Let's go over here. Yep. See, they can't hear you, but I can hear you. No, they can't hear you. Go ahead. Answer the question. I'll just repeat back your question. Hmm. That all depends on how um that depends on how long you have left on the loan. Sometimes refining can hurt you. You know what I'm saying? Can hurt you. If you almost got that thing paid off, you're starting a loan all over again. 4 years. Is- so in order to get into the trust under this, if you want it, do it. Yeah, refi it into the trust name. You should be able to have no problem doing that because you already have a history of paying them. So they're gonna use you as the guarantor. You're gonna be the co. Yeah, the co. Yeah, regardless, it doesn't matter because you don't have any history built up, any credit. That trust has not established credit. And for the people that's on YouTube, the question was he wants to put his car in a trust, and he was trying to see what was the best way to go with that. Refi it into the trust name, or what was the other option you had said? What was the other? Oh, if, it doesn't matter what you refi it into. If you want to tax exempt, I would do it in the temple. Now he's asking, should he put it in his church or trust? I would put it in the church name for tax exempt purposes. Yeah, how did you buy your car? Right. So a church can do the same thing. A lot of people have difficulty just for YouTube world that can't hear you. Um, a lot of people, you know what? I might be able to get you crossed in there. I know what to do. Hang on a second. No, I'm a get on with my phone. I just need my cable that connects it to the play it through. Hang on a second. All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna try to get in here. All right, you should be good now. Yeah, I'll know in a second when I put on my thing. Always, I need a team like if we can run through this, do a dry run. All right, let's. All right, hang on a second. Should be good now. Yeah, it's still not. Yeah, I hear the echo. Yeah, when I, yeah, it's a delay there. Yeah, I'm just leaving alone. We just gonna go with that. Yeah. Yeah, it's still not. Yeah, I hear the echo. Yes. No, no, no. It's just like anything else. Just they want to see the ability for the entity. Okay, what he's asking, what does the bank need to see for financing a vehicle, whether it be in a church or a trust? All they need to see is for the church, they will probably need to see the bylaws for the church because you don't have any like a certificate. But for a trust, all they need is your trust certificate. Yeah. Right. Right. Yeah, if you get yeah, if you want the exemption, if you want it to go through smooth, I would use the church. You could use the trust, but you have to show the connection between the trust and the church in order to do that. So, yeah, just easier to use that church because of the tax exemption. So, anytime you're buying anything, if it's a company, a church, a trust, they just want to see the ability for that entity to be able to make repayments. And if it's a company that just started or any entity that just started, it will need a co-borrower, which they will make you the co-borrower. Yeah, it shouldn't be hard to switch it out into the trust. It shouldn't be. All right, brother. I'm gonna have to because they can't really hear you, so I got to keep repeating everything. I would Blog Talk was working. I don't know what happened with Blog Talk. It just won't connect. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Now, okay, I got to mention something. You sent a lot of emails, bro, and I can't read all that stuff because I get a lot of people's emails. So it's either you could set up a personal consultation, or again you can wait for the open forums when I'm answering questions. But yeah, but the emails I just can't read all through that stuff and try to figure it out because I get emails all the time. It would take me hours to read people emails if I wouldn't get anything done. All right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Take care. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. I could not get his sound to come through my board. I don't know. I could hear it on the board, but it won't come through on YouTube. Um, so I'll figure that out later. But what I'll do is I'll take questions by way of the chat. Uh, greetings. Somebody asked a question. Peace. Do I use the social security number on the SS4 form for the trust EIN? Nope. Uh-uh. When you're trying to get your trust, you want to not use your social at all. I know they make it when you go, if you're trying to get it online, you will not get around the fact that they want the social. So you're going to have to fax in or mail your request for EIN through the mail. There's a particular method that we use, but I only release that method in the chat because in my private membership, because I do not want that method to get messed up. It's been working. People been able to get all their EINs for their trust, the church, all of it without using a social. All right. But I'll give you a hint. You got to remember you're foreign, and foreigners don't have social. And if you want to identify with that social that they gave you, that contract you never agreed to from the date of birth, and use that, then you're not going to be able to get a EIN without using that. But you have to think outside the box. You're foreign. So how do foreign people get numbers to use? So when they say they require it to be a social for, let me just show y'all something. The instructions for the SS4. Because even though they tell you by way, oh, you got to put a social in online, get it. But the actual instruction says you don't need a um to be associated. They just want the EIN number of the responsible party. This is the 2023 application. And you're going to get to how to apply for EIN, blah, 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 blah. Right. I'm going to share it. This is in their instructions. And let me share the screen. This is their instructions for the SS4. So they're telling you, let me move this comment. They're telling you you're required to give them a social when you're trying to get one. That's what they say in words, but the actual instruction says line 7A and 7B, name of responsibility. Enter the full name, first name, middle, and last, if applicable, and SSN, ITIN or EIN of the entity's responsible party. Responsible party defined. The responsible party is the person ultimately owns or controls the entity who exercises ultimate effective control over the entity. A business can be a responsible party. It says they just want to know who it is. The person, because it says you can give them an SSN, ITIN, which is individual tax identification number, or an employer identification number. Okay. So when they're telling you you're not allowed to use anything but a social security number, that's when you go online. That's the only thing they'll accept online. But they'll accept others if you mail it in, if you have the right wording on it. If you have the right wording. You're foreign. Hint, I just gave you you're foreign. So foreigners don't have social. Remember, that number was created, that contract is between the county where you were born and the federal government. When the social security number was applied for, you was a baby. You can't contract for all the benefits that go with that as a baby. And we already know your mom already signed off as someone who just was informed or know about the facts of the birth. And even that's sketchy. So you cannot use the public internet, their quick and easy access to the EINs, and expect to not use your social. You're gonna have to use it in that. So use that little electronic thing. But if you do it the fax it in, mail it in way, the instructions say what they want, and sometimes they'll kick it back. Oh, we need a social for the responsible party. But wait a minute, your instruction says you don't need a social. Just remind them of that. Just remind them of it. But I would suggest you read this whole instruction thing. It says for trust, the responsible party is a grantor, owner, or trustor, right? Doesn't have to be flesh and blood person. If your church is the grantor, then that's the responsible party for the trust. Now I'm gonna read this part. If you're applying for an EIN for a government entity, you may enter the EIN for the responsible party in line 7B. Otherwise, you must enter social security number or ITIN on line 7B. But leave line 7B blank or enter NA, foreign or similar language if the responsible party doesn't have an N and isn't eligible to obtain SSN or ITN. The instructions they're giving y'all instructions. I'm not even going to break that down. I think that's self-explanatory. I think it's self-explanatory right there. See, the trickery is right here. If you're applying for an EIN for a government entity, you may enter an EIN for the responsible party on line 7B. It says if you're applying. So with most people, when they read that, their mind is still stuck on government entity, but it says if you're applying for it, this is what you do. Otherwise, you must enter social security number or ITIN on line 7B, but leave 7B blank or enter NA, foreign or similar language if the responsible party doesn't have and isn't eligible to obtain that social security number or ITIN. Doesn't have. But they say and is, but I mean, I I just broke that. I just kind of read that for y'all. I'm not talking about 8832 because I really don't use them. Um, 8832s is when you convert a EIN number to foreign. Foreign status is not so much about that 8832. It's really about how you roll and how you present your paperwork. So I can go and get, uh, and I keep, that's why I stress temples and mosques because those are foreign. Those are outside of the taxation jurisdiction of the United States. So if I'm operating from that point of view where I'm getting that EIN that shows that that thing is exempt, and then I connect everything to it, then I don't need an 8832. For what? What do I need it for? Why? When I already got something that says exempt, I don't have to convert it and say it's foreign and do all that extra stuff. See, those little techniques that they were teaching never really got anybody any remedy. You see. So I mean, it doesn't hurt to do an 8832. You use that for your 98 number, and you do a conversion that way. Yeah, because everything I connect, a church is foreign to anything. Now, once you fill out that to go get your tax exempt status recognition, now you not foreign anymore. Now you got to do what they say. So there you have it. So just a recap of what the brother he was talking about. He has a card that is got a it's got a note on it. It has a loan on it, and it's in his name. So he wants to be able to take advantage of the benefits of having a car either in a trust or his church. So in a situation like that, you can refi it into the trust name or the church name. You shouldn't have problem if you've been keeping up with the payments. They should not have a problem refining that. You don't have to go to the same bank. You can go to another bank and get it refied. So now you have a loan paid off in your name. That's what's going to happen. Once they're going to write a check, you pay off the old loan, they take over the note. Now the loan will be in the entity's name, you as a co-buyer. And most time it doesn't show on your personal credit report that you have a loan. It just show up as the trust is the one keeping up with the payments. And that's what you want because you're going to get more money out of a trust or out of an entity than you can as a personal, using your personal credit. You see? So it doesn't hurt to do it that way. Yes, you're going to have to sacrifice and use your personal credit to build up the credit for your entity. But after about a year, 6 months to a year, you should be good. If you're making payments, you should be good to be able to buy anything with that trust. Now, the key to being able to buy it on your own, you need to be running money through the bank account of your trust or your church to show money coming in. So me personally, what I would do if most of you got regular jobs, I will be funneling all of my income into the church account. Now that creates a donation, and then funnel it back out to wherever you need to go. Right now, you're gonna have bank statements showing that entity is bringing in money. So, man, people were teaching to use the 8830 to convert to straw man to a foreign entity, which has never been. It don't work. You can't make the straw man a foreign entity. It's their entity. They created that. Gave your mom the illusion that it was, for your benefit, but it's they have all the rights to that social. That's their business. The key is not to use that. And use your entities that you created and set them up into foreign status. Now you have to worry about that. The people want to use the 8832, so when they go to the job, they don't take taxes out, all of that jazz. That's one of the reasons why they were teaching that. Just one of many. So what was I talking about? Getting loans with your entities. And trust me, I'm getting loans all the time for the trucking company. We get new trucks. Do it all the time. There's key things you need to make a transaction go smooth when it comes to getting loans in an entity. Them bank statements. So I'll be funneling all my money through there and then take it right back out to go do whatever you need to do with it. But what you're doing is you creating bank statements, and they usually only want 3 months of bank statements. That's it. 3 months. 3 months. That's all you need. So 3 months of just pumping money in there. Boom, 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 boom. And then, hey, this is what I got. Hey, I want to take this car and put it in my church or trust name. And what's the next steps? Now, you might run into a hiccup. I don't know how well you negotiated on your loan and the price of the car. As long as you're not upside down in your note, you shouldn't have any problem. But if you're upside down in the note, they're gonna want a down payment to cover that negative equity. Okay, so those are little things you can run into. You know, yeah. A lot of these, a lot of those techniques of converting EINs, I never really saw them yield any results. Somebody said they knew they wasted money then. Yeah. Yeah. Now, back in the day, you could get, EINs all day long without the social. Then they went and took that option away online. And they give you the illusion that they took it away all the way, but they didn't. They really didn't. Actually, I just read right there. If you was paying attention closely, I just showed you how to get EINs without socials. They just gave you the instruction. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get off. It's already 9:24, longer than I wanted to be on. I wanted to talk to some more people, but I couldn't. We have to figure this out. Some reason it wasn't playing into YouTube, wasn't picking up that sound. All right, so with that being said, peace, prosperity, extreme wealth to y'all. Y'all have a good night. I didn't see a whole lot of questions. Maybe I'll make sure I ain't missed none. All right. Well, peace, prosperity, extreme wealth to y'all. Y'all have a good evening. I'll see you tomorrow night. Maybe I'll have it all fixed by then. And that static are being sacrificed. And that's if your stuff's not available. Peace, prosperity, and extreme wealth to all you guys.
This is Hindsight Radio. I represent it. The information station changing the nation.